welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be making a Yule Log cake, and in other words, in French, bouche de Noël. First, the ingredients are 4 eggs, half a cup of sugar, half a cup of flour, and a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. And then you add 1 teaspoon of vanilla and baking powder. Now I have to separate the egg whites and egg yolks. I'm going to use this whisk, and I'm going to be mixing the egg whites so it turns into nice, beautiful, stiff peaks. My egg whites are done mixing, so I'm going to add some sugar little by little. This mixture has a very nice fluffy and looks very snowy, just in time for Christmas. And now I'm going to be adding 4 yolks to this mixture. Now I'm adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now I'm going to be adding the cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and some flour. To enhance the flavor, if you want, you can add half a teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to be adding the dry mixture to the wet mixture. I'm going to pour the mixture onto the baking sheet. I spreaded it evenly, so now I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. The cake just came out of the oven, so now we're going to test if the cake is good. And in order to do that, you take a toothpick and put it inside of the cake, like this. And then if it's like sticky and wet, or some kind of other consistency, then you have to keep it longer. But if you take it out and it's dry, then it's good. My mom just flipped it for me, and in my opinion, I think you should let your parent flip it for you, because you could get burned very seriously and end up in a hospital. So now I'm going to flip it. Now I'm just going to take this off. Now I'm going to take the parchment paper out, but since I greased it, it'll probably come out easily. Voila! Now I'm going to be cutting the edges. Now cut it very carefully. Now since I trimmed the edges, I'm going to try and see if it's good. Okay, so now I'm going to add some cherry juice to this, so it could have a very nice texture, so it'll be nice and moist. So I made this chocolate ganache yesterday, and now I'm going to be adding it on the top of the cake, of the cake wall. So while you do this, don't put a too thick of a layer. Just add like a nice thin layer to it. This is the fun part, spreading the ganache on the cake. I already spread the ganache to the cake, so now I'm gonna roll this into a tree log. Now I'm rolling the cake. Now we have to decorate it like a fancy Yule log. Now I'm going to be separating the parts using a serrated knife. I'm right now doing an angle cut. And now I'm just going to do a regular, now I'm just going to be doing a regular cut. I arranged it this way, so now I'm going to frost the cake. So I think you should use a plate. I'm using a red plate because that would be good for the Christmas. So yeah. Now there are two ways you could do this. You could either take the frosting and just spread it on, or you could take a piping bag and put the frosting inside and do it. Now, my preference is to use a piping bag, and this is chocolate frosting. I just finished frosting the cake, so now I'm going to put it in the freezer. And while I do that, I'm going to make some Christmas tree decorations. I'm going to be making Christmas trees out of ice cream cones. So first I have to color this whipped cream with green dye. Now I'm going to be adding the dyed whipped cream on top of the ice cream cones. Now I'm going to be adding the whipped cream to the ice cream cones. I'm using a pastry brush because it's more easier. If you don't have green sprinkles, then you could just dye the sugar with green. I already made fondant leaves, as you can see. So you could take like these kind of leaves, maybe from your garden or somewhere, and then first, of course, you have to wash them, and when you put it on your cake and eat it, don't forget, don't eat the leaves. Now I'm going to take a fork and add lines so it could be nice for the details. Now, in my opinion, I don't think you should just make it straight. I think you should like wiggle it. Now I have some raspberries and blackberries, and you could decorate them however you want. And while I'm putting the raspberries, after I do that, I'm going to put these leaves on them. Now I'm going to put another leaf. I dyed some coconut flakes green, and now I'm just gonna add them to here, and it'll act like glass leather. Now I'm gonna be adding the Christmas trees. And for me, I'm going to be adding some candy canes. As you can see, this is the cake. And the last thing we're gonna do is add some confectionery sugar to make it a snowy Christmas. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Shania's Plugs. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that like button. And I'll see you next time. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and make sure you're safe.